Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dolton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard appears to have lost control of both governments.
Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, is back in the spotlight, and not for the right reasons. The embattled mayor has been making headlines for all the wrong moves, with allegations of misusing taxpayer funds, appointing unqualified people to important village positions, and even facing an eviction lawsuit. But the drama doesn't end there. Oh no, we're just getting started.
But you don't even have a sense to even look in our face. But you rather just steal our money and do what you want to do.
So, let's dive into the juicy details of how Henyard, who once had the overwhelming support of her community, has managed to become one of the most controversial figures in local politics today. And trust us, this story has it all: power struggles, lawsuits, questionable spending, and even some reality star behavior that would make you think you're watching a political soap opera. First off, let's talk about Henyard's leadership, or lack thereof, depending on who you ask. She's been accused of appointing unqualified people to key positions in the village government, with many of those appointments raising eyebrows for their lack of transparency. We mean, imagine appointing lawyers without checking their resumes, running background checks, or even verifying that they have the basic qualifications for the job. Yeah, that's happening in Dolton right now.
And Micah, tonight was a special board meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings. So that's some progress there. But this meeting was not without its fair share of tension.
And it's not just about appointing unqualified people. It's about how Henyard goes about doing it like she's above the rules. At a recent village board meeting, she tried to push through her latest appointments, including a new executive assistant and village attorney, without giving the board the necessary information ahead of time. Instead, she dropped the bombshells just minutes before expecting a vote. We mean, Simon, does she really think the board is going to rubber stamp these decisions without even knowing who they're voting for? One fan nailed it when they commented, the information needed for the board to make a decision about her candidates should have been given to the board ahead of the meeting, not 2 minutes before wanting their votes. That mayor is not fit to be won. You can't help but wonder what goes through her mind when she pulls stunts like this. Does she think no one's paying attention? Or that somehow she's smarter than everyone else in the room? Because honestly, the way she talks down to the board, it's like she believes she's the only one who knows what's going on. But guess what? The judge disagreed. Yep, the judge recently ruled that Henyard's appointments were invalid because, surprise, surprise, she didn't follow proper procedures. As one fan sarcastically put it, I love how she thinks the board doesn't have authority. But the judge said otherwise, which is why it's on the agenda. She thinks everyone is dumb except her. Now, if you think things couldn't get crazier, you'd be wrong. Let's talk about Henyard's spending habits, which are currently under investigation by the FBI. No less. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was actually brought in to investigate Henyard's handling of Dolton's finances, and let's just say the findings were stunning. In a report released earlier this year, Lightfoot revealed that the village's general fund balance had plummeted from over $5.5 million in 2022 to a deficit of more than $3.5 million by May of 2024. So where did all the money go?
You are a clown. We will continue to speak out against wrongdoing.
Why won't you step down?
Well, Henyard seems to have a thing for shopping using village credit cards, no less. According to Lightfoot's investigation, Henyard made some mind-boggling purchases on sites like Amazon, Target, and Wayfair. One particularly jaw-dropping transaction involved a $43,000 purchase on Amazon. Yes, you heard that right, $33,000. And that was just one of several purchases on the same day. Who spends that kind of money on Amazon? And more importantly, why is the mayor of a small village spending taxpayer dollars on online shopping sprees? It doesn't stop there. Henyard has also been accused of using village funds for lavish trips, staying in first-class hotels and dining at upscale restaurants, all on the taxpayer's dime. In fact, township credit card records show that Henyard and her crew spent over $67,000 on trips to places like New York, Atlanta, and Portland, all while the village is sinking further and further into debt. And get this, while she was in Atlanta, she stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, racking up a bill of over $9,000. In New York, she stayed at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square, where the tab came to more than $13,000. We mean, really? How does she justify this kind of spending when her village is falling apart financially?
A Dolton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent, and now she wants her.
But it's not just the lavish spending that's got people talking, it's Henyard's total disregard for the very people she's supposed to be leading. Residents have voiced their frustration over her personal security detail, which is reportedly made up of 6 village police officers who should be out protecting the community, not chauffeuring the mayor around town. These officers are working overtime, running up paychecks while the village sinks deeper into debt. And to make matters worse, Henyard's opponents have pointed out that the police force is stretched thin, with rising crime rates and fewer officers on the streets. It's almost as if Henyard is more concerned with her own safety than that of her constituents. But of course, when questioned about the purpose of these trips, Henyard has been less than forthcoming. Instead of offering any real explanation, she's played the victim, claiming she's being scrutinized by the media for simply loving on the people. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. In one of her more bizarre public statements, she said, "Everything we do is for the people, but we're under attack." Sure, Tiffany. Because blowing through taxpayer money on luxury hotels and first-class flights is definitely for the people.
Does all this point the finger to Tiffany or allow me? I'm over it. Now it's time for me.
And speaking of the people, let's talk about how the residents of Dolton are reacting to all of this. Spoiler alert, they're not happy. Many community members are downright furious about Henyard's antics, especially as they watch their village fall deeper into financial ruin. At a recent public meeting, one resident didn't hold back, saying, "My reaction was, I am devastated. I am devastated that this woman came into our town and spent all of our tax money. We have senior citizens that can't even afford basic necessities." Ouch. That's gotta sting. And it's not just the residents who are turning against her. Even former allies have started to distance themselves from Henyard. Former village trustee Valeria Stubbs, who used to support Henyard, is now one of her most vocal critics. Stubbs didn't mince words when she said, "Tiffany needs to be locked up. She needs to be made an example out of, that she cannot go around using our money and spending it however she wants to spend it, like the job comes with a cash register."
Henyard's landlord showed up here to see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payments for months.
But in typical Henyard fashion, she's brushing off the criticism like it's no big deal. In fact, she's doubled down on her stance, insisting that she's the one in charge and that her critics are just jealous. During a heated village board meeting, she fired back at her opponents, saying, "You all forget I'm the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. You all ain't learned that yet." It's almost like she thinks the more she says it, the truer it becomes. But here's the kicker: despite all the scandals, all the lawsuits, and all the investigations, Henyard has announced that she's running for re-election. Yep, you heard that right. She's not going anywhere without a fight. In a Facebook post, she declared that she's running for a second term as mayor, and she seems pretty confident about her chances. "They know the truth, and I am committed and determined to continue fighting for my village for the next 4 years," she said through her lawyer. Confident? Yes. Delusional? Maybe.
We talked to Tiffany Henyard's landlord, and she says she came to this Thornton Township meeting Tuesday night hoping to get paid what she says she's owed.
But here's the thing: Henyard might not even be able to stay in her own home, let alone the mayor's office. That's right. She's currently facing an eviction lawsuit from her landlord, Janetta Hull, who claims Henyard and her boyfriend Kamal Woods haven't paid rent since August. According to Hull, the couple owes over $5,000 in back rent. And despite making a combined income of well over $300,000 a year, they've refused to pay up. Hull said she's tried to serve eviction papers several times, but so far Henyard and Woods have managed to dodge the process servers. And if you thought that was bad, it gets worse. Hull also claims that Henyard changed the locks on the property, preventing her from accessing the home she owns. "If I pushed and go over there with a locksmith and try to change them back, I think she's probably going to have me arrested," Hull said. "We mean, can you imagine being in that situation? Renting your home to the mayor, thinking it's going to be a safe bet, only to have her stop paying rent and change the locks on you. It's like something out of a bad sitcom."
It's a power grab. That's it. Power and money grab.
But like everything else in Henyard's life, she's not going down without a fight. In response to the growing opposition against her, she took to Facebook in a 90-minute rant, where she hinted that she might seek the arrest of her political opponents. "I will be seeking arrests for individuals involved," she said in the rambling video. "I will be pressing charges." Charges for what, exactly? Well, she didn't say. But she did accuse her critics of being involved in a power and money grab. Classic deflection, right?
Just here because I'm at wit's end and I fear that I'm going to go into foreclosure soon if I can't get this matter handled.
Now, let's take a moment to consider what the future holds for Tiffany Henyard. With the FBI breathing down her neck, a pending eviction lawsuit, and a federal investigation into her spending habits, things aren't looking great for Dolton's so-called super mayor. But if there's one thing we've learned about Henyard, it's that she's not going to go quietly. Whether she's strutting into board meetings dressed like a movie gangster, yes, that actually happened, or making outrageous claims on Facebook Live, she's determined to keep the drama going. But at the end of the day, the question remains, how much more can the village of Dolton take? With a $3.5 million deficit, mounting debt, and a mayor who seems more interested in personal gain than public service, the future of the village is uncertain.
Not word one, it says 100%, 100% of one, 100% to who? I mean, that could be a lot of different things. What's the administrative costs? When's it going to start? When's it going to end? You know, just literally nothing.
So, what do you think? Will Henyard manage to pull off a second term as mayor? Or will the people of Dolton finally say enough is enough? And what do you make of her extravagant spending and questionable appointments? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this unfolding saga.